This is section 7.5, applying the tangent ratio. So we are going to talk about three ratios, but only one today, called tangent. Those ratios are called trigonometric ratios. Okay? All that means is it's a ratio of two sides in a right triangle. So they only work for right triangles. You use trig ratios to find the measurement of a side or an acute angle in a right triangle. Today we'll just be worrying about sides and working with the trig ratios. So we have triangle ABC over here with the acute angle A. So that's the angle we're going to be looking at. You could also have used B because B is also an acute angle, but we're going to talk about A. So the tangent ratio is the following. The length of this leg opposite A over the length of the leg adjacent to A. So I usually write that as opposite over adjacent. Okay, and notice they're both legs, so we're not going to be using the hypotenuse for this ratio. Now opposite means across the triangle and adjacent means the leg right next to it. So if we look at this picture, opposite it is the BC and the leg adjacent, the one right next to it, is AC. Okay, so that is the tangent ratio, opposite over adjacent. Let's do an example. Find the tan ratio of S and T, or sorry, S and R, right, as a fraction and as a decimal. So you're going to need a calculator for this. So we're going to start with S. So we're looking for tan S. So we always put our angle right next to the tan. In this case, it's S. So remember, we're not using the hypotenuse in the tan ratio, so I don't need to worry about that. So don't forget that the tangent is the opposite over the adjacent. So from S, opposite that is 80, and adjacent to that is 18. So that reduces to 40 over 9, so there's my fraction. And then my decimal, I just divide those. Now in this section you are going to do 4 decimal places. So that's my tangent of S. Let's try the tangent of R. So again, R is my angle, so that goes next to the tan. Now I'm looking at R. So from R, what is opposite? Well, the 18 is opposite. And right next to it is the 80, the adjacent side. So that reduces to 9 over 40. And as a decimal, that is 0.2250. Again, 4 decimal places. Okay, so that's how you figure out tan. Now let's do somewhere we actually have to find a side. Here we were just setting up the ratio. So, find the value of x. So here's my angle. From the 32, 11 is opposite, and the x is the adjacent. So I know I'm going to use the tangent ratio, because again, tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay, so tan, what's my angle? Well, it's not a letter in this case, it's a number, 32, equals opposite, 11, over adjacent, x. Now we have to solve this for x. So, to solve for x, I'm going to multiply by x on both sides since I'm dividing by x, and get x tan of 32 equals 11. Now to get x by itself, now I'm going to divide by the tangent of 32 on both sides of my equation. Okay, so you need to find the tangent button on your calculator so that you can type this in. 11 divided by tangent 32. Okay, and you should get 17.604. If you're not getting that answer, you need to ask me how to type this into your calculator specifically. Okay, let's try another one. This time I have an angle of 61. Opposite is the 22, and the adjacent side is x. So set it up the same way. Tangent of my angle, which is 61, equals opposite 22 over adjacent x. Multiply by x on both sides. So I get x tan 61 equals 22. Divide by the tan of 61 on both sides of my equation. and you should get 12.195. Again, if you're not getting that answer, let me know so I can show you how to use your calculator. Okay, one last example. Find the height of the lamppost H. So we have an angle, 70. H is opposite that, and the 40 is adjacent. So again, I'm going to use tan. Tan of my angle of 70 degrees equals opposite H over adjacent 40. So this one's actually a little bit easier because the variable is in the numerator. Multiply by 40 on both sides. Okay, those cancel out, so I just have H. In your calculator, type 40 times tan of 70. And you should get 109.899 inches. Okay, and that's really all there is to the tangent ratio.